does it show us that's new? It's all the showbiz melodramatic cliches that we've seen before. This is nothing new. There's nothing in this movie we haven't seen in Ray, The Five Heartbeats, Sounder. It's kind of an amalgam of those movies. The director is Tate Taylor, who previously did The Help, which I'm not a fan of.
Hate that movie.
Not a fan of that movie. No, ladies and gentlemen, a little white girl named Skeeter did not help. The civil rights movie is fiction. It's a total lie. I don't believe that movie. And that movie was extremely well acted, despite the fact that it was completely false. And I feel like this movie has a few good performances, but it's equally false. It's made by a guy who's seen a lot of movies, knows what a good movie looks like, and feels like, but can't quite replicate it. It feels almost like a bit of Diana Ross's movie Mahogany. You know, it's that kind of a film. Or like Lady Sings the Blues. It just doesn't have authenticity, but it knows the cliches, and it goes through those cliches. And those cliches work for some people.
Well, most nerds don't know the Diana Ross filmography.
That's true. That's true. I just outed myself.
Yeah, you just totally outed yourself. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking. Listening to you talk about this film, what I want to know as a nerd is this guy, do we see a scene of James Brown doing Living in America on the set of Rocky IV?
No.
Damn it!
And you know what else we don't see?
Doggone it!
Well, you're absolutely right to bring that up. We also don't see him performing in the legendary Rumble in the Jungle fight. They don't talk about that at all. That's a pivotal moment in James Brown's life. They don't talk about that at all, and it's not there. The one scene that is there, and it's the best scene of the film, and it's such a good scene. That's what kind of made me tip the star scale to about 2 stars. There's a scene where right after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, James Brown was asked to do this concert to establish unity and basically to keep a crowd of people from rioting. Because of course everybody wanted, blood after the assassination of Dr. King.
Sure.
See Brown and his band get on stage, and it's basically they're trying to appease this crowd that is just ready to riot. There's cops on the side of the stage ready to loose the dogs on everybody.
Sure.
So it's this really suspenseful and wonderful scene because it feels like, for once, the movie is as wild and as big as it wants to be. Because otherwise, this feels like a really conventional movie about a guy who is a lot bigger than a conventional movie could ever do justice.
So we're saying that this is a movie that should be, in the next few years, should be done better.
Yes. Yeah, this is not the definitive James Brown. I almost feel like this guy's life is too big. It's like trying to do a 2-hour movie about Richard Pryor or even the Muhammad Ali movie a few years ago, which I really liked, but I felt like it tried to, once again, cram way too much in a 2-hour, 20-minute time frame.
That's the Michael Mann movie with Will Smith. Not a fan. I didn't like it.
I think that movie was actually more successful than this one at portraying the era and actually getting a lot of the details. I mean, the fact that, again, the Rumble in the Jungle incident, I mean, it's so pivotal. The fact that James Brown was there and he participated in that, it's such a big part of this guy's legacy. They left that out. Living in America is a big deal because a lot of guys like us, that was our introduction to James Brown, if not Dr. Detroit or the Blues Brothers. They don't mention any of that stuff either. So the sense that this guy managed to maintain his popularity, managed to have as many hits as he did well into the 80s, maybe arguably even into the 90s, the fact that that is all left out, it feels like there's a lot missing here.
Do you think they focused more on his life than his career?
They tried. There's a lot of flashbacks of him as a poor black child, which honestly, those scenes feel very cliched. It feels like scenes from Roots and Sounder and 12 Years a Slave that we've seen done before and done better.
Right.
The scenes of him not getting along with his mama, we've seen that before. The scenes of him slapping his women around, we've seen that before. Like, it feels like all the bits from all the other showbiz movies we've seen, but not as good, not as fresh.
Okay. Get on up. What you're saying is that if you're in the theater, you should get on up and walk out.
Yes, I wanted to after the opening scene. I genuinely did.
Wow,
the opening scene is so bad. It is camp. It feels like a Key and Peele sketch. It's ridiculous.
I like Key and Peele.
I do too.
They're very funny.
They're gonna have a field day with this movie.
Oh man, I cannot wait. All right, well. Get on up, not recommended by Professor Barry.
No.
Moving on to some more news in the entertainment industry. Something we didn't get to last week because of the hype of Guardians of the Galaxy. Deadpool. Test footage was leaked of the Deadpool sizzle reel, I guess you could call it. It was leaked to the internet. It was what they shot during the whole X-Men Origins Wolverine story with Deadpool as Ryan Reynolds. You just saw the footage. What did you think?
I was knocked out by it. I mean, that's a movie I'd see. It looks like it works. It looks like tonally it works. It reminds me of the kind of the smart ass aspect of the character that I remember from the few Deadpool comics I've read.
Right.
I wonder, is there any possibility for this to happen? Because as we know, it's not only Green Lantern. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, as of late, has lost a lot of the heat that his career generated. Could this movie even be made anymore with him?
I don't know. To be honest, you're right. You're absolutely. He has lost a lot of heat, and I think that heat was lost not with just Green Lantern, but I think that also came with the change-up.
Right.
The change-up, the one starring Jason Bateman, that did a lot to downgrade his star power, I think. So I don't know if it can be done, but what we saw, the suit, the actions, everything that was in the film were very reminiscent of the Deadpool that I know from the comics. He breaks the fourth wall. He's willing to be funny, and in the most you could say the most uneasy of circumstances, he can find it to be funny. And I think the Merc with the mouth aspect really comes out and shows in that. So I'm kind of excited to see if they will be able to make a Deadpool movie. I think it's possible. Matter of fact, I'd love to see him hook up with the X-Men. Yeah, just to see him hook up with the X-Men would be awesome. So if you haven't seen it, we can't. All we can tell you is just to Google it. Do yourself a favor and Google it. We can't direct you to anywhere to see it, but just Google it. You'll find it. If you have not seen it, it is really, really cool. It's about 2 minutes long. It's spectacular. It's action-packed. It looks like the opening, right before the opening credits of the movie. I mean, it really works. I'm completely sold on it. But yeah, I really would like to see Reynolds do it. I mean, he was given a sort of kind of shot at playing this guy for certainly the opening few minutes of Wolverine. I thought he was really engaging. I'd like to see him do this guy. I really would. I think he would do well, and I think it possibly could resurrect his star power. Yeah. Don't you think so? He needs that opportunity because at this moment, he's kind of... the thing about Hollywood, to briefly mention this, I mean, when movies like Green Lantern and The Change-Up fail, the problem there is those movies look like such sure things, such fish-in-a-barrel hits. So when those movies didn't work, and I don't think they're completely his fault, but when they didn't work, so much of those movies were on his shoulders, and now it seems like he's a guy who can't open a movie. Not the case, but I would like to see him give this guy another shot. Absolutely. Who would have thought the guy could survive Van Wilder, let alone, continue to be a good actor? And he is a very good actor. Buried shows that this guy could play just about anything. Buried wasn't a bad movie either. That was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, moving on to some more news this morning, or for us this morning. You can listen to it. This could be the evening for you, but yeah, we're doing it in the morning. But moving on to more news, entertainment news, movie news. There has been some interesting story revealed for Captain America 3. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the other two movies that are coming out yet. I don't know. Have you heard? No. What's the story? Well, apparently, according to a statement, I don't know attributed to whom, they say the character was invented to be for an explicitly political purpose. So they say it's hard to get away from that nature. And they said, according to the statement, he said, we'll be bringing some new elements to the table that will give us a twist on Winter Soldier. They're saying that the majority of Captain America's powers comes from his morality. So you know how he was in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. That's where a lot of his powers come from, is what they were saying. But some of the information that was leaked is that possibly by Captain America 3, we could be seeing Chris Evans handing over the cowl and the shield over to a new Captain America. As you know, most geeks know that the Captain America has been played by multiple guys, not just Steve Rogers, but also Bucky Barnes, who was in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and of course his sidekick, the Falcon. So they say that it's possible that we could be seeing a new Captain America in the new Captain America 3 film. So I think that'd be kind of cool, moving on to another Captain America, don't you think? I don't mind it. I mean, as you said, this is not an uncommon trend for comic book characters to,
traditional characters to change identities. I mean, this is nothing new. It also makes sense from a business perspective in the sense that Chris Evans at this point is probably going to get too expensive. They keep hiring him again and again and again.
Well, he said he wants to retire and he wants to direct. He said he wants to get out of the movie business. He only signed on to do 3 Captain America movies because of that, and 1 more Avengers movie. So he wanted to do 3 Captain America movies, 3 Avengers movies, and he said he's done.
And Robert Downey Jr.'s contract is also up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they re-signed him though because of after Ultron. By the way, just another side note here, the end of
Guardians of the Galaxy?
The end. No. Yes. Well, not just that, but the end of the Phase 2. Someone told me that the end of Phase 2 comes with the Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay.
And then we start Phase 3.
Okay.
Okay, so we were wrong last week when we said Guardians of the Galaxy was the ending of Phase 2. It's not. Apparently, Age of Ultron is. So anyway, sorry, go ahead. Go with what you were telling me.
Oh, no. I was responding because I thought you were referring to the post-credit scene of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is still...
It was good.
It blew my mind. And I don't want to give anything away. I'll just very vaguely say that my favorite comic book character of all time, it's always been my favorite, the Steve Gerber character, who will remain unnamed for those who haven't seen the movie yet, pops up in the post-end credit sequence. And I was blown away because this character has been absent from movies since 1986. I didn't think he would ever pop up again. Whether the final scene is a total joke, which it could be just a complete throwaway joke, or actually an indication that there might be a future film
an
vehicle.
Inkling of something on the horizon.
That's really intriguing to me because I never thought I'd live to see the day that would ever happen.
Well, it's so. What's so funny is that it fits it right into the mold of what Guardians of the Galaxy was. That end scene, we're waiting at the credits, looking for something that's going to get us a hint of what's to come in the new Avengers movie. Nope, we don't get that. We get something completely off the wall and completely whacked out. And for most people that follow Marvel, I would say really thought that was weird, but also very enjoyable.
I was stunned out of my mind. I'm like, that can't be. Oh my god! I mean, and I got to say, the rendering of it was a little odd, and it had the character sported an accent that I can't say really worked for me. I don't believe most people from Cleveland, let alone a certain world, would have that accent.
Now, all I'll say is this: is that you have to remember, he was in the den of the Collector, and he was essentially being shown off as a piece of art in the Collector's collection. Yeah. So, hey, who knows? He gained a little weight, maybe. Who knows? Something happened. So, he's a piece of art in that collection. So, hey, like I said, if you haven't seen the ending, stick around after the credits. It's a lot of fun for most Marvel guys. You think you'll dig it. So,
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Now, moving on to a completely other universe, we're going to move on to the DC universe of comics. I haven't seen it yet. You have more news on it than I do. But Batman v Superman, there was some, I guess, pictures and video that leaked from the set. Is that correct? What exactly was this?
Oh, I was actually, what I'd seen was what they showed at Comic-Con, the actual bit where you actually see Batman and Superman. That actual.
Oh yes.
That's what I saw. It's exactly what you heard. Batman spots Batman who has glowing white eyes in the scene, which is very traditional of the comic book, and I don't know exactly why that is, but it's certainly a visual that sports back to the original Batman the Animated Series as well as the original DC comic rendering. He shoots up the bat signal. There's Superman looking at him, and Superman responds with kind of a glowing red tint to his eye and the alien nature of his visage. And the two have this kind of stare off.
Visage.
Yes, and they stare at one another with a great deal of menace for just about a moment, and then the trailer's over. I saw that, and I got to say, on the one hand, it's a wonderful tease, and visually it's exactly what you'd hope and exactly what you'd want. But you know what? I'm not going to be fooled again because it's Zack Snyder, and this guy comes up with the best trailers in the world.
He does.
This guy is a genius at trailers. His trailers have been traditionally better than the film, so I'm going to hold out before I get completely on board with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to that title.
We're going to see a lot of DC characters in this film, so it's going to be
arguably too many, but we'll see how that pans out.
We'll see how that pans out. I will say this: there's been there's been leaked pictures on Twitter of Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck on the set and things like that just came out. So you can check those out online if you want to. But there has been something that's been interesting too that I wanted to mention, not to get too political or anything about that, but Gal Gadot, she's going to be playing Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman. Gal Gadot